T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
I'm Chris Williams, and you're listening to the Black Lightning Podcast.
Welcome to the Lituation Room, aka the Black Lightning Podcast. I'm your host, Britney Monae. And today we will be discussing Season 4, Episode 13, Book of Resurrection, Chapter 2, Closure. Today I have with me my sister from another mister, who I've missed dearly, Vanessa Shark.
Hi, I'm back. It has been, I've been on a bit of a hiatus, whatever. Been trying to process the ending of the show in my own way. But I'm back, and I'm really excited to talk about everything and be united with our family. Yay!
Yes. And then also the venerated Virginian, my right-hand man, Brother Nate.
Well, the insidious and perfidious Britney Monae. Good to be here with everybody. I got so many thoughts this evening, but I think there's one thought that comes to the mind, top of my mind, Britney.
What is it?
I thought we'd get to see forever, but forever's gone away. Wait for it, Vanessa Shark. 'Cause it's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. I think that's all I'm legally allowed to sing before the Boys to Men people send us a letter. What's going on, y'all?
Oh, gosh, I can't believe we're here at like the end, pretty much. We're waiting for Clement, aka Tuxedo Mask, to show up.
He got to make an entrance.
Oh, of course, he's gonna make a grand entrance. But oh my gosh, we got so much to talk about in this episode.
A lot.
Yes. Yeah. We do have a Thunderdome. Just want to
Yes.
cue you on that.
Shout out to everybody watching. We see y'all.
Yes, we see y'all. And you know what? I didn't notice this, but actually someone pointed out in the comments, it's Mind the Gap. They didn't play the theme song in this episode.
No.
I didn't even notice it. And now that
they said he wasn't back. That's what Hat Production said. Good point.
Yeah, I definitely noticed that. We didn't get that theme this week. And I'll talk about it later because I think there's a place where you could have put it in the episode and it would have worked.
Hey, Lumi. They said, hey, they just entered the chat. But yeah, are we just gonna dive right in and not stall anymore for Clement?
Let's get this. Look, Clement, Clement is like La. Spoiler alert. You don't know when he gonna show up, but when he do, it's gonna be good. So
yes.
yes. Yeah. So you The floor is yours, Britney Monae.
Floor is mine. Well, if you have not watched the episode on Monday, turn off this live stream now. Go away, or if you don't mind spoilers, go away, because the way I set up this document this time, spoilers are on early on if it all goes with the scene, certain cuts or whatever. That makes sense. So the first scene though that we do open up with this episode actually is everyone is very much hurting over Jeff most likely being dead. Gamby confirms that the picture's not a fake. And this is like, she wants to fight now and doesn't even want to mourn late, fight now, mourn later type of thing. And this got me because Gamby said, Jefferson is my son. And I was just like, okay, I'm already like, we're only in like a minute in this episode. I'm going to cry. And basically that's when they kind of get an idea where they need to hurry up and find the emitter, because no one's going to be able to fight anyone without the emitter with the new DEGs. And that's pretty much how we open up the show, with everyone yelling and fighting and pretty much on the verge of tears.
Vanessa Shark. Here's how I knew they weren't playing with us this week. Because they came in swinging for the fences with that Al Green.
Yeah.
Just showing us like the fallout, I guess, of Jefferson's death. And just like the whole family is all in disarray, but then they quickly kind of pull together. And like Britney said, when Gamby's like, that's my son. Like I was like, oh, okay. Like we know that that's their relationship, but for him to say it so adamantly, like I felt that, Vanessa.
Yeah, it was. I think it was probably the most memorable moment, I think, of that piece, because I don't know how. I think that the focus has been on Gamby and his personal life a lot this season. So reiterating that connection and having him be so passionate. He looked like he was like on the edge of tears, but he like had to keep it together for everybody because he's the patriarch, I guess. But it was really, really, it got me. I was like, I'm not gonna cry. I swear to God. And I teared up a little bit, but I didn't cry. Also, thanks, Andy. I don't have any Black Lightning on here. I do have a lot of Decory. I have Nightwing and Starfire. Anyway, we have a lot of comments. By the way, I'm not going to say any spoiler ones yet because we haven't gotten to the Lala, but the Lala being a mayor now is funny. They didn't say Jefferson killed a 100 gang member before, did they?
I don't remember that. They may have, but I don't remember it, Vanessa.
Yeah, I don't either.
That was from Mind the Gap. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't remember. Music is always fire from Lumi. You're right.
Yes.
That's true. And also from Mind the Gap, I've been replaying Watch Dogs and the song at the end that plays in that game. Well, Watch Dogs. I don't know what that movie is. You're making a lot of references that I am not getting.
Oh, I'm trying to remember the song because there's so many great songs in this one. But
yeah,
talking, move on up. Oh, somebody look, man. If y'all haven't already subscribed to the Black Lightning soundtrack on Spotify, what is you doing with your life, man? So many uplifting songs on that playlist.
Yeah,
do it after this. Like, don't do it right now.
Yeah, not right now.
Yeah.
Like, do it.
We deserve the attention right now.
Do it when we done.
Woo. Man, we got Tobias doing his like press conference and the whole make Freeland great again BS. Like, gosh, it's funny, but that is also within like the same moment where Brother Hassan kind of discovers that Chief Lopez has taken the meta booster. Yeah. Oh, hi, that's my face. I switched out of I keep going back and forth between our StreamYard link and the documents. I was like, oh.
I told you I got that Scorsese on lock, fam.
There we go.
Bam.
Hassan was just like witness to all of the complete chaos, the mental complete mental destabilization that what's her name? Hold up.
Chief Lopez.
Chief Lopez. Sorry, you gotta read Andy's comment.
What?
Read Andy's comment.
Where his tuxedo mask with his OnlyFans frozen. Clement's fashionably late, y'all. Tobias could have been a big DCU villain if things went different. T.
Maybe. He's so good.
Yeah. And I think Tobias, he's so bad. He's so awful because Condon is good at his job. So, but what happened to him later in the episode, that's why it makes it so sweet. And I don't usually root for people's demise or whatever, but I've been rooting for Tobias's demise for a while now. And I think they even upped the ante of his evilness this season to really, really drive home that he was irredeemable and just complete garbage. But my point with Brother Hassan, noticing Chief Lopez and that whole, I wish we had gotten more of that fleshed out, because Chief Lopez went from like 0 to 100.
I have so many thoughts on Chief Lopez when we get there, Vanessa Shaw, because
it was intense. Yeah.
But yeah, I did love how Hassan was like calling Jeff, and he's just like, man, she tripping, man. Like, you got to do something, Black Lightning. Where are you?
Right.
Does he know?
Yeah, no, that's all within the same moment. I'm like, oh, he don't know. Jeff is not going to answer.
Now you can't get reception that deep. That's a cut scene. Like that's the bonus scene where he's in the coffin. Like, hello, hey, Brother Hassan, I can't really talk right now, man. Let me hit you back, dog.
Wow. Well, as we pretty much just said, we know that Jeff is very underground, and I pretty much put all these cut moments together because throughout the episode they cut back and forth between Jeff being buried underground, which he's there basically until he takes his final breath, and he asks of God to take care of his family, to get rid of Tobias, and obviously to take care of his city. And I think that just shows how much Jefferson really does love the city too, because we know how much he loves his family, but like for him to use his last like breath to say to me and make sure you take care of Freeland, like that's wild. And I don't feel like you don't meet too many people who genuinely care about their city like that,
Yeah, that one really got me because obviously, just me personally being somebody that's spiritual, like the fact that Jeff is like he knows it. At that moment, Jeff knows it. And he's like, like, I hope I'm worthy, to enter into your kingdom. Please watch over my family. Please watch over my city. And like Cress was just so like just acting in a box, literally. Cress is just so good in those scenes. So I got to salute that brother, man. He did his thing this episode. But Vanessa Shark, speaking of brothers that be out here doing their thing, ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege and my honor to introduce to the chat the one, the only Tuxedo Mask himself, Brother Swole, Clement Bryant, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey!
What's up, Clement?
Tuxedo Mask. Man, yo, man.
Where's the roses?
Roses.
No, not a single rose.
You said roses. Oh.
We're starting early. You're good. You only missed a couple points, so dive right in.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm like having to
no
handle last minute stuff at work because
you are on live, by the way.
I know I'm on live.
Okay, I'm just making sure you don't say anything you ain't supposed to say.
Don't get fired, fam.
I know.
No, I'm just like handling some stuff. We had a death in the family, so I'm taking off tomorrow to kind of like figure out some last minute stuff. Then we fly out Friday for the rest of the weekend, and we don't come back until Wednesday. So yeah, it's been crazy. But so what did I miss?
We just talked about because I put it all in together, the different cuts of like Jeff being buried underground and basically using his last breath to ask God, to take care of his family, get rid of Tobias, and obviously to take care of Freeland. We were just talking about that.
Yeah, this episode was nutso. Was it just me?
No, it was wild. a lot stuffed in what should have been a 2-hour finale. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It really should have.
Yeah.
Just the way everything moved. And it's not to take away from what we did get in the episode, but I think if we could have had some of these moments sit a little bit longer,
yeah,
it would have hit a little bit more. But yeah, like I think that opening sequence with the Al Green in the background just like lets you know what we was in for already. It's like, like we going for it, we swinging for the fences, and it's gonna get emotional. So get your tissues ready.
Yeah. Mind the Gap said Jefferson went through his own Craven's last hunt. Another reference. Don't understand. Does anyone get that one? No.
I know if he means like
Marvel?
Craven, like the Spider-Man dude.
Yeah.
That's a Marvel thing. I don't know. I don't know any of that.
Yeah, your man Craven the Hunter, who I guess there was news about him today.
ATJ. Woo!
Taylor Johnson is gonna be
That's my boy.
That's dope. You know? I'm also kind of like it should be in the MCU, but that's a whole other issue.
Yeah, but this is the Black Lightning podcast. Let's not go off on our Marvel tangents.
Hey, Clement comes in, Clement talks MCU. That's the way it is. No.
You know what?
Anyway.
Anyways, we have a flashback with young Jeff and Gamby, and this is where we actually find out the information that Jeff killed a 100 member, and I feel like we never heard this before, but you know, he's obviously he's very traumatized, as you should be killing someone. And Gamby is telling Jeff it's okay, and to use his powers in self-defense and not give up, and maybe give hope to his city, which is basically Jeff's little origin story, basically.
Yeah, I was wondering why they didn't include this in earlier seasons, if this was always sort of in his background or whatever, but I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. This was one of those things where I was just like, okay, let's keep it moving. It's hard for me to kind of connect with some of this stuff, especially with this young Jeff that I feel like I don't know if we've ever seen this version of Jeff before. For me to connect, well, I'm like, there's other things going on. I don't care about this. If this had been stuff that we had dealt with in maybe at the end of the last episode or something, I would have felt more like I cared. But this wasn't anything new or interesting to me. But
to me, and this is no shade to James Remar and whoever they had playing young Jefferson, but this scene didn't hit nearly as much as the one we get with young Jeff and Alvin later.
Yeah.
I think that one really worked, and that's because we have a connection with Alvin and Jefferson talking. Whereas with this, it felt like something we needed to do to introduce the idea of Jeff dealing with killing somebody for the first time, and it really wasn't needed because we know what kind of person Jeff is, but I think this was just to kind of establish the code that Jefferson has.
Yeah. Because I think in that scene, Gamby says something about the code, right?
Yeah, he's like, you gotta have a code, Jefferson. We'll figure it out together.
And Crest mentioned in an interview that he did a couple days ago that he had referenced the controversial Man of Steel where Superman had killed Zod, and he kind of referenced that as the decision to, for what Jefferson did later on in the episode. But in the end, at the end of the day, Black Lightning and Superman are two fundamentally different characters. It makes sense for Black Lightning to, at the end of the day, do that more so than Superman. So I think that was just that was an interesting comment from Crest because I was like, I don't know if that's the same lineup.
Lamont is here.
Oh snap!
Oh wow!
What up,
What up, family?
What up, man?
Wow.
Jinx, you want to get started, Brett?
He asked you what's up, Clement.
Hey, Lamont, man. It's been a while, man. I don't think we've got up since before the pandemic. We used to get lunch because we worked what was it? I want to say 2 or 3 blocks apart when I worked in Burbank. So, it's been a minute, man. I'm glad to see him come up in here. It's awesome.
Wow. Yeah. For those who don't know, Lamont was one of the writers on Black Lightning, and he has been very cool with a lot of us. So we appreciate you joining us, and also thank you for congratulating us on a great run, and congratulations to you, man. Show is dope. We loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna cry.
Wow. This is great. I'm all emotional.
Wow.
Yeah. Some other comments. Hold on. I gotta make sure I'm on top of it.
Yeah.
Hold on. That when in doubt, blame crisis. True. And COVID. And then we got, Andy suggested Clement needs to donate $5 to charity every time he talks about himself in third person. I do agree with that. Niche said, I think that 100 member might have been the one who he burned in his eyes in the beginning of the season. I don't know, because that's how I order chronologically. Yeah, this was a flashback.
To piece it together.
I think that was a flashback. He didn't recently kill 100 member, right?
No, and he didn't even kill the 100 member, did he?
Yeah,
that
dude. He just blinded him.
Traction.
Yeah,
and he blinded him.
Yeah. Just blinded him.
It was merely a flesh wound.
But I think that was a really good scene between also I think the relationship between Gamby and Jefferson, I think it was nice to have that moment where you kind of, I don't know if forget is the wrong word, but sometimes you forget that Gamby helped raise Jefferson, especially after his father got killed by Tobias. So it was a good moment to kind of, go back in the past and take a second to be like, oh yeah, this is their relationship, and kind of recap that briefly before moving on. And it was a really good scene between James and the kid who was playing Jefferson at the time. I really enjoyed it. And it kind of played well into the fact of handling the business as soon as you can, rather than letting the problem, grow and fester, So great scene.
Lamont said, I'm going to hop off soon, but want to say congrats. Thanks, Lamont.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you, man.
Thanks for everything.
Come on the show.
What could have been? Lumi said what could have been with proper time and sort movement. Yes, as is a lot of stunted projects.
They needed 2 hours, man. They earned 2 hours, I will say.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. Blame it on the CW.
Yeah, I love to blame the CW if that's one thing.
Man, I'll bring fire.
I trip outside and fall on my face. I blame the CW. Okay.
Dare to defy gravity.
Wow. Okay. And basically the next thing I have in our document, because as y'all know, we leave certain things for the Thunderdome, is Jefferson and Alvin is actually talking while basically Jeff is technically passed on or in limbo. And I really, really loved the scene a little bit more than the Gamby one, not to diss on Gamby, but I loved Alvin reassuring Jeff that he'll never be like Tobias, because he actually has a heart and conscience, and feels bad when he does hurt someone or even kill someone. Like, he really does feel shame and guilt. And I like that he was telling him basically he has to go back, and that you do have everything you need to take care of Tobias. And that's when Jeff basically he awakens, and because the emitter has been actually, I think, destroyed at this point, he's able to use the promethium that's buried in the ground to regenerate, and he is back. And I want to say he's back better than ever. And I love the little tweak up on the suit, and Jeff lets his family knows that he's back and goes heading off towards Tobias.
Yes, I loved this scene so much. All of it was just beautiful. I connected with the scene a lot more because Jefferson has been living with seeing Alvin's death. He's never grown he's never healed from it. And so that to me was him finally healing from it. That was a phoenix rising from the ashes moment. And I think I have covers somewhere on my wall. I do have other history. I do have some Black Lightning on my wall. That's what we're talking about. But I do have a cover I haven't put up on my wall yet of the Black Lightning Year 1. And it references when he comes up out of the grave and he's just his hair is whoever did his hair on point, because it was it's the little corkscrews beautifully twisted. And his silhouette it just reminded me of the Black Lightning Year 1 cover, I think from New 52 era, and it's just beautiful. I almost wanted him to have a jacket. I was like, he looks so good. It was just everything worked, and I was paying extra attention to see if they stuffed any Easter eggs from the comics, which they did, and I really, really enjoyed that. I thought it was just beautifully done. They definitely saved the budget for this.
Yeah, I love this scene, man. Like I thought, starting with the Alvin Young Jefferson scene, it felt very reminiscent. And since Clement Bryant's on the chat, you have to mention MCU, I guess, obligatorily. Like it felt like a young Killmonger talking to his father, where we went back and forth between Jefferson the kid and Jefferson the man, who is looking to his father in his final moments, and just like the way that you could tell, man, just the weight just been carrying all these years. And he's like, I wasn't strong enough. And then Alvin's like, you are. You had it in you this whole time. And then when we get like Jeff's Phoenix moment, as Vanessa said, when he's drawing the power from the Prometheum and just busts out the grave, like I was like, yes, that was like I stood up and clapped in my room, man. And the only thing, and this is where we talked about, we hadn't heard the Black Lightning theme. I think you could have used, if not like the regular version with the vocals, you could have at least used the instrumental version when Jeff came out the grave, because I think the music they had was just kind of like stock, like dun 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 dun.
Yeah,
but like if you could have had like the instrumental, like Black Lightning's back, because he's back. I think that would have been really cool right there.
Yeah, like Hans Zimmer's moment in those, like I think on all the DC movies where they're like they always have each, like Flash, Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman, all have their like that like twang. That would have been that would have been a beautiful moment. I agree that should have popped up. Yeah,
would have been nice.
I gotta say the whole sequence with Jefferson being in the grave too. I think, I don't know for you guys, and tell me how you feel, but like especially when Jefferson was before he came out the grave moment, and he was like in costume and he was back as Black Lightning. He had a scene where he was saying a prayer to God and basically being like, please let me be worthy of being accepted in your kingdom, just please protect my family. And that really struck me.
We talked about that, Clement. We're worried.
Dude,
I told you when you got here.
It has been a day, y'all.
I told you when you got here.
Who's the pothead on this cast? What are
Clement, were you in the ionosphere again, Clement?
I hope someone got that.
What
the hell is happening?
Oh
my God.
This is live, fam. Wow.
Beautiful.
It's
Beautiful.
lit. Literally lit.
Oh, Clement is lit, y'all.
Clement has been dealing with the death of the family, a busy work schedule, and angry DoorDash drivers. Okay.
It's all good, Clement.
We love you. We love you. Wow.
Good day, y'all.
Clement Bryant does his own stunts, y'all.
He's his own stunts, yes.
Man. No.
Oh my God. Chaos.
It's chaos. My life is chaos. Anyways, I hope Lamont's not still here.
I'm gonna laugh. I would love it if he puts in the chat, saw it.
No.
Anderson, I went away for 2 seconds and come back to see Clement on the floor. You did except for DC TV now. This is a spoiler for what we got to talk about later, so stay tuned. Also, Hat Productions got a little shade for the CW. Hey, we got a whole extra day of the CW. ... But whose line? America's Funniest Animals.
He said saw the whole thing.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to deal with my later and just be like, yo, sorry, fam.
Oh my God, I'm red.
Yes. Last night I saw a podcaster. He was black. He said, "This is for the hood." Clement Bryant's on his back.
See, they.
It's love, brother. It's love.
Oh my God.
James Gilmore is late because he said, "What do you think of the chances of Painkiller being picked up?" Maybe it's not.
The CW didn't pick it up, but I know that there is a change.org. What do you call it? Petitions to try and get it picked up on HBO Max. So I will retweet it on the account later if you guys like want that. Because I want the show. I mean, how are they not going to pick up a show with those three fine men and then like deny us of it? I'm just.
Milky, he was the hottest person, one of the hottest people on Insecure, and
I'm just like, you know how much thirst watchers they can bring in just from those three men? Like,
they just had all they had to do was
you're losing your bag. You're losing your bag.
Yeah.
He said okay.
Sorry,
man. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news. Like,
we were all sad when we found out right before they were gonna like pretty much do the finale.
That's
which is rude.
Was rude. I know.
I think, like we can talk about that at the end because I've got thoughts on just the way this was all handled. Once we get through the episode,
even my husband had thoughts, and he doesn't even watch any of this stuff.
When he has thoughts, we know it's bad.
Anyway, we're off.
So where were we before Clement Bryant, stuntman extraordinaire, took the stage?
Well, I was about to talk about the quick little scene between the data specialist at Freeland PD has located Chief Lopez, and then basically Brother Hassan go out to go get her, and she's like, "But I'm just a data specialist," and he's like, "Get your gun," and they go.
Look, Brittany, that was a missed opportunity.
What?
And you know where I'm going with this, Cap.
Do I?
Because Brother Hassan needed a right-hand man in that situation.
He sure did.
Don't get the data analyst. Call that man FBI agent Kevin Mason.
Oh, brother.
Those two. Mason and Shakur on the case.
We love Kevin Mason on this podcast.
Yes. This is a pro Kevin Mason house.
I do not support fictional or real FBI agents, including the one watching me now.
Oh
my God!
What if your FBI agent's like actually the nicest person, and they're like heartbroken, and they're like, Vanessa hates me.
To get a different job.
And they go like,
but yeah, no, I thought the random data specialist, I don't know why that was happening, but I liked her. I thought she was great. And I was like,
I think she's been on the show before. I think she's the person that's always kind of like helping Chief Lopez, and she's the one who handed her the iPad last episode, and she flipped out.
Oh yeah. Okay, I'm just all over the place. There's a lot of. I'm just not used to the amount of Black female cops that are. I don't know if they've ever been this concentrated before, but I've noticed that a lot. I was like, I know it's Freeland. Freeland's predominantly Black. But it was just wild to see that many Black female cops. I don't know. I was just anyway. So that was just throwing me off. But yeah, that was cute. That was a cute little moment. And Lumi said, Jordan about fine ass hell thirst away. Yeah, all those words. I said it, and I agree.
I'm like, they're just missing the amount of people who would watch the show for like how hot all three of them are. Like,
yeah,
I remember seeing so many people tweeting about it. Like, this is hot. Like, I want this.
Yeah.
Like, but, they don't care about giving us hot people to look at anymore.
No. Well, first it was Powerpuff Girls, now Painkiller.
Oh, let's not talk about Powerpuff Girls. Please, let's not do that.
Wait, Clement has thought the Powerpuff thing, okay? Wait.
And he said he has to warm up some food, so Clement, please stay seated.
Stay upright, Clement. Stay upright.
Your butt in the chair. So
Clement's always stays upright. Y'all making me talk in third person again. I don't want to. Anyway.
$5 to charity.
Total $20.
All right. Well, we're already like at this scene because of other stuff, as we know, is in the Thunderdome. Is Black Lightning versus Tobias final fight, which I loved this fight, and there's a particular reason because in AP English we had to learn some words, right?
Take them to school.
And this is when I was introduced to my favorite word ever that I have only used once in an essay in college.
Let him know, Cap.
I was so excited that he said it and said that it was his favorite word too, and I'm like, I gotta reevaluate myself. But he said he's like, my favorite word is defenestrate, and I'm gonna show you what it is, and like was gonna throw him out the window, which that's what defenestrate means. It means to throw something or someone out of the window. And I've been obsessed with that word ever since like I found out about it in AP English. So I was like, yeah.
Defenestration. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember, I think in high school was when I first learned about that word, and I was like, it sounds dirty.
It does. I think maybe that's why I like it. And I know it just means to like throw something out the window.
I think everyone in the chat's correcting you, Brittany. It's defenestration. You said
Defenestration. But yeah.
Thank you, Lamar. Thank you, hat protections.
But yes, I mean, after he was out the window, he was defenestrated, to be fair.
Yeah.
He was. Like the hand
we
that
out here
rocks the
conjugating
cradle.
verbs on the Black Lightning podcast.
Hey, that's where you go. You all can get an analysis and conjugate verbs at the same time. That's what.
Boom. Yeah, he barbecued him. He kebabbed him and then barbecued him.
Yes. Well, I like to call that when people get like what do you call it? Impaled. I like to call that the hand that rocks the cradle moment. Have you never seen that movie?
No.
You guys, wow.
I'm pretty cultured. I feel like you guys are making references. I'm not an idiot.
Short story about a movie. At the end, the crazy babysitter lady gets pushed out the window. She falls on the fence and yeah, I saw that movie when I was like 5, and I was obsessed with it. And I don't. You
remember who pushed out the window though, Cap?
What's that band's name? I don't remember his name.
Lynn Stewart's brother, Ernie Hudson.
He's in that movie.
Ernie Hudson is the one that saves the day at the end of the movie. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, okay.
Someone said I saw it once on a TV as a kid. Yeah, and then I would watch it every time after that. I don't know why. My mom would be like, Brittany, you can't watch this. It's so bad.
First of all, your man Tobias Ware. I know Clement Bryant was dying when soon as Jefferson came in, Tobias had them insults on deck.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Big head, bug-eyed, big lip, nappy-headed. Like, sir. You gotta die for this, Tobias. Like,
Let's do it, dad.
He was waiting though. He was waiting for that moment. He's like, I can see Tobias putting like, here's what I'm gonna say when this Negro approaches me. Like,
he got a book of them.
He had that ready.
Right.
You
big head, big lip, nappy-headed Nimrod. What you doing here?
Lynn Stewart's dad. Lamont is correcting us. Yeah. I love it.
Okay. I
respect it.
I love it.
Yes, he is right. Yeah, I'm thinking about John. Appreciate that, Lamont.
Yeah, when you said that, I was like, he was John Diggle? Oh, I was confused. But
yeah. I was just so excited.
I knew who you meant, but like I also was like not in the. I was just gonna leave it rolling.
Just memories of that crossover we could have gotten.
Yeah. But the barbecue. I'm sorry. I got to go back to the skewered Tobias. That is not the way I thought he was going to go. I'm sorry.
No.
He was going to die. This is the most humiliating way to die. This man just got elected mayor. Like, it's like, I don't know. I'm just laughing because it's so cathartic for me to see that man dead because he is the worst. And I was just like, this is hilarious. He looks like, he just got kebabbed and then barbecued. Like he was literally like trying to
yes, and petty to the end, quoting Moby Dick at this man.
He looks so ridiculous. He's like, nah. I'm sorry, it was just ridiculous, and that's the way it should go out. Like, just you are the most ridiculous man, and you died a ridiculous way. You played ridiculous games and won ridiculous prizes.
My only complaint about the final showdown between Jefferson and Tobias was I wish it was longer because like a lot of things in this episode, it felt very truncated. And I get why, because they had a lot of things to wrap up this week, Vanessa. But like, I wish we could have lived in the moment of that fight longer because, like you said, like this is stuff Jefferson's been carrying around with his entire life.
Especially since we just saw Tobias beat his ass last episode. Come on, I wanted a little bit I wanted more. Yeah. But no, it was it was a good way to end it. But anyway, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Are you done?
No, I was finished. Yeah, I was done.
But I think it's especially like when we have the lead up early in the episode was so good, especially like the stuff between young Jefferson and his dad, especially the bias tip. I really wanted to see, like you guys are saying, a little bit more because that setup was so good at the beginning. And I think that would have like if it was a little bit longer, it could have like, I don't know, maybe circle back to that whole thing and being like a flashback during the fight scene of like saying, hey, handle your business, take this guy out, he's bad news kind of vibe. But like, I don't want to cry over spilled milk, but I really wanted more out of that. Especially I wanted Tobias to put up more of a fight. Jefferson kind of dominated him the whole way through. Was it just me?
No, he did. It was pretty much like Jefferson had the upper hand for that one quick moment to use defenestration in the show. And then like, I feel like who wrote the finale episode? Because I feel like that was
Celine?
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like he was like, yes, I can use this word. And then like, you know what I mean? That was the moment to use it.
You can tell they knew they wasn't coming back to this set because they broke every piece of furniture in the scene. The lamp, the chair, the couch, the ottoman. Like just everything in Tobias' little
everything on the bar, the glass.
Yes. It was like, we ain't shooting here no more, y'all. Go ahead and tear it up.
Tear it up. Yeah, burn it.
Burn to the ground.
What's up with Lala? Lots of elections for Freeland. We'll get to Lala in a second.
Yes. So we have where am I? We have 3 more scenes. So
the chandelier. Yeah, Lamont said the chandelier. Yes.
Yep.
Probably the most
everything. So the next scene is TC is able to figure out a way to isolate the kill order in Khalil / Painkiller's head. He tells them that Tobias is dead, and I love how Painkiller was like, "How's that good news?" And TC was like, "Look scared."
I
know. Wouldn't you be scared too?
Well, yes, yeah, but it was just funny.
Bye, Lamont.
Oh,
bye. Thanks for joining.
Appreciate you, fam.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, and so shout out to Lamont for joining us. That was very, very cool.
Nice. Yeah.
So yeah, we have the part where they found out how to isolate the kill order, and it means the only way to do it is if Khalil / Painkiller never remembers the Pierces. He takes a moment, but obviously Khalil ends up deciding to do it despite having to forget them, and especially Jen. Oh my God, I was like really in my feels in this part, and I was just like, all right, they need to pick up Painkiller on HBO Max because I can't deal with this.
Yeah. This is clearly the setup for Painkiller. Like, obviously, like they obviously had no idea what was going to happen, and it was very obvious that CW waited until the very last possible moment to like, they're like, we can't spoil it because it just sucks that they had to do it like the day of. But yeah, it was clear they were keeping that news back because of, I know with upfronts and all that stuff. They're like, oh, we don't know, it could still happen. And then literally the day of the finale, they're like, no. So it sucks because it's very clear the finale when they did the finale, it was Painkiller was gonna be its own show. But I feel really good for Khalil. I think this is a good fresh start. He's way too much baggage with Jennifer and the Pierce family and Freeland. I think that this is a good moment for him now. Even if he doesn't get his show picked up, which I hope if it does get on HBO Max, that'd be great. But I think this is a great way to like end his story, and we can always imagine what he's doing in the coolest futuristic city that somehow exists in 2022 or whatever year they're in right now. But yeah.
I liked it, Vanessa, in the fact that, like you're saying, at least we got some closure. It was bittersweet closure, but at least we wrapped up that story. And we were talking on the show last week about, like, I had a list of storylines that they had set up, and like, how many of these are we going to check off? And I was surprised because they actually checked off most of them. They didn't get all of them, but they checked off most of them. And Khalil's story was one of them. So I think the ending, even though, like, emotionally, like Brittany was saying, I don't like it emotionally. I think story-wise, it makes sense that is a choice Khalil would make.
Yeah. Oh no, not Hat Production saying it's like Donna Noble. That hurts my heart. That was one of like the upsetting like Doctor Who moments ever when Donna Noble basically, I think she absorbed the TARDIS and it made her really smart, but because of how smart it was making her human brain, she could handle it. The only way to take it out of her brain was like not to remember ever traveling with the Doctor and all those adventures she got to have. So it was really like a heartbreaking moment in Doctor Who history. I'm sad. All the feels today.
No, he did not. No, Andy, he did not jump the chair, and he still. I don't think he's referred to himself in.
Yeah,
I don't think you basically haven't missed anything. So.
Why do I feel like I'm the addition that everyone's tracking how much I do something? Why do I feel like I'm the circus attraction on this joint?
You're the one who put on the clown nose. You fell out of your chair.
Well, Vanessa Stark. Clement does not have any.
There it is. Another $5.
Another $5 in the jar.
That was an accident. And Andy, shush. Anyway.
Anywho, so the last scene that we have with the Pierces is basically they're all happy. It's like Jen is kind of sitting outside though for a minute and is telling TC that she's kind of upset though that like no one noticed, that only Jeff, noticed what was going on. And also within that moment, we have Lynn apologizing to Gamby for not like for blaming him basically for all the stuff with like Jeff and kind of stuff. And I love that we find out that Jeff and Lynn are going to be getting remarried. My heart. But this is a really good scene because everyone's happy. They're dancing. They're laughing for the most part. Jeff says he's going to, officially hang up his cape, so to speak. And he's going to pass on the torch to Thunder, Wild, and Lightning. And Gamby also says he's going to retire as, like, quote unquote, the man in the chair. And he is also passing the torch to TC. But Gamby's like, but I'm not going to lie, though. I might do some tinkering here and there.
Gamby's not going to just fully retire. He's too much for that.
No, he's one of those old people who love to, like, do stuff and will keep doing stuff until, like, that's it, basically.
Yeah. I think that this was a really cute scene. I really wish we would have gotten an actual like wedding. I don't know, like them, like we didn't ever got to see Anissa and Grace even like standing up in their outfits. Like I wanted a little bit more from the wedding portion, but I thought it was really cute to bring everyone together for their reception or celebration, and they look so cute and it's just really adorable. I'll talk a little bit more about the Jennifer thing later. Are we talking about that later in the Thunderdome? Yeah. Okay, because because I want to talk about that too. But I think it was overall a really sweet moment. Yeah, and Gammy, of course, his little dance move. He was just so it's very adorable.
Yo,
yeah,
the dance moves on display.
Yeah,
can we take a moment to salute this young king, Chris Emmanuel, with the moves in that scene? Oh yeah, that was so good. And then I think a key word that Chris said or Jefferson said in this scene is, I'm turning over the fight to Freeland, to you guys.
Yeah.
Not necessarily I'm done with this whole superhero life.
Which is Chris said in his interview that he made that a purposeful choice because he's spoiler alert, been getting calls from a certain show, the Flash show. And there was some news that they're doing like 5 kind of like crossover episodes instead of a traditional beginning for the Flash, so which will feature a lot of like characters from different shows and new characters from the DC universe. So it's possible and it's likely that
I think he is, because he also said in that interview I read that Crest doesn't really want to do any shows where he has to permanently relocate.
Exactly. He wants to be
because of his family.
California, yeah.
So he wants to just like be able to, if he can pop in for like, maybe like 2-3 weeks and then go back home, like that's what he's kind of ideal for him. So he is he's basically going to probably be on the Flash because they asked him to do it for next season. That was before the show was canceled. And he said, yeah. And they're like, okay, we'll work out the details. And I guess they got back to him again after the cancellation was announced. And he said, like, yeah, I'm going to do it, basically. So we are going to see more of Jeff, at least, So
hopefully,
that's great.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And this is probably like, my personal favorite moment in this episode. But Lala is alive. He broke out of that Han Solo thing that they did to him, basically, because it got knocked down during the fight scene. And that's what I was wondering. I was like, is he gonna like come back alive, which he did? But I was mad because one, the scene is so short, and I'm just like, I want to see more of Lala. Is he gonna get to appear on the other shows? But I love that he walked to see, like, you know, basically Tobias had been killed, and he laughs and says, somebody finally stuck it to your ass. And that's where the actual show ends. But as y'all know, we have the Thunderdome coming up. But yes, the scene, y'all.
Yo, this scene was hilarious. But my only question, and I'll pose it to you first, Vanessa, like, do you, like, I like the scene, and I'm glad that we got that box checked off in terms of Lala. But I feel like I would have liked it better maybe if this scene was earlier and the last thing we got from Black Lightning was the Pierce family in that scene together.
Yeah, it sets up a stinger for no reason, like almost unless Lala was supposed to be intentionally supposed to be moving on to be a painkiller villain. That makes a little bit more sense, but it was weird to have. It was like one of those, you know, it was like a leading into something, but.
Yeah,
we know
that's
that
how I felt.
Coming.
Like, unless there's something else they're not gonna tell us about, where Will is gonna be showing up again.
It's like Lala just walked out on stage. Well, I guess he's dead. Good night, everybody.
Right. Maybe they'll talk about it at Fandom. I'm not sure, but yeah, it seemed a very strange placement for that. But yeah, there's some comments, but I kind of want to line them up with when we talk about Jennifer and later. I don't think he didn't. Let me ask if it's true that Crest didn't want to play Black Lightning anymore. I think he still wanted to. I don't think that was. I think he still wants to play Black Lightning, which is probably why he's still guesting on the Flash. I think if he wasn't, just like China and McLean's not doing anything at all. Period. I don't think she wants to play Lightning anymore, as far as I know. But Crest still wants to. His show got canceled, so he can't. I can't have his own show anymore.
Yeah, I think because the show got canceled, he was like, all right, well then I'm going to stay with my family and move to where they want to move and be there. So I think that's what it is. I feel like if the show didn't get canceled, I think Crest still would have played the role as long as he could have. Honestly.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And he seems really excited. He's always talking about, you know, the Flash and like the crossovers and all the stuff that he's done. Like he seems really. He seems to have loved doing that part of it. So
especially working with Grant, it's like he really brings it up. Like I really liked working with Grant. So
it seems like he bonded with the Flash cast a lot because in Tom Cavanaugh's interview, I think I read a couple on Tuesday, he was gushing about Crest. He's like, if Crest can wear that suit with all that stuff on it, I can wear this pariah costume. It was really cute. He was talking about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems like Crest really bonded with a lot of the cast members on The Flash. So I would be very surprised if we didn't see him again as Black Lightning. I think he does want to be Black Lightning. But,
yeah, he'll probably just show up when the story makes sense on The Flash, which they're going to make it make sense.
Let me tell you, because I watched The Flash, and spoilers for anybody that didn't see this week's episode of The Flash, but there's a moment where they're trying to contain these forces. And Cisco's like, if only we had something that could siphon off all this energy and take these forces down. I was like, I know somebody.
We know a family.
I know a guy.
Yeah.
Call him.
Fine.
Like, you already ran out there once this season, Barry. Off screen.
That's true. Off screen, yes.
Who's going to sit in his chair at the Hall of Justice? I think he will still. Off camera. Off camera. Because he's not going to be in Freeland. I mean, he said they leave him in Freeland. Maybe
Supergirl also is like.
Well, but Superman's probably going to fill her. I mean, it's, you know.
Supergirl, yeah. But still, like, it's not the same.
I know it's not the same, but they don't give a
I love Tyler Hoechlin, though.
It's like we're down Ruby, Batwoman, we're down.
But we still have we have two Batwomans now. We have a new Kate Kane and then we have Ryan. So that chair is filled. Yeah,
we got to play. What's the game?
Roulette.
Musical chairs.
Chairs. So why did I say roulette? That's
Andy asked, "Do we see Celine's comments about the crossover we almost had? Didn't we almost have a Black Lightning, Batwoman, or Superman?
Black Lightning Flash?
Oh no, Flash.
I know Nafisa and Javisha were pushing for a Batwoman Black Lightning crossover.
Yeah, I didn't read the full interview with Salim. I just read the one with Crest. But he's the only one he talked about was the one that he's been approached by Flash. I don't know if there was one like a committed Black Lightning's X someone else Flash or crossover. So I'm not sure. But anyway, is that it? We got Thunderdome?
I think it's time.
Yeah, it's time, y'all, to hit the Thunderdome.
One last time.
Oh, it's so sad.
Beautiful. Ooh, we in the Thunderdome. It's a bit chilly.
Many outfits that she got to have over the course of the show, and poor Thunder got one, or poor Lightning got one, right? She only got one costume. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, but we have JJ is going up into the ionosphere, charging up her powers. It looks like the particles are about to take her before she flies off. And then it looks like she's gonna fall. And I was like, oh no, not her falling again, right? And so then while she's back at the sanctum, like she's talking to TC and Lynn, she's gonna faint, and she tells TC how they gotta hit the tunnels, which I still don't know why they need to go to the tunnels. I don't understand.
Still don't understand.
But I loved how the particles in that one part starting to look like the mummy, like the sand thing, you know, from the movie with Brendan Fraser. Like I was like, yes.
I literally thought the same thing.
Yeah, I was like, this is cool. I love the mummy. It's like one of my favorite movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
This was I don't know. Should we? What is it? Okay, yeah. I don't know. I don't have anything else to say because I kind of want to talk about the next point.
Yeah. So the next part, the particle thing, as we find out, ends up being Jin/China, and I was just like, oh, hold up, wait a minute.
Plot twist.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as we know, she ends up meeting up with the JJ and TC, which I still don't know why they wanted to be in the tunnels in the first place. And, you know, as we know, they both end up fighting. This is where we find out that JJ stole Jin's DNA and was able to make her into a human because she's actually just the particles that be chilling up in the ionosphere. That turns out they have a consciousness because, like, she was jealous of not having a body and, you know, have Jin having this life that she didn't have. And that's what we find out, you know. But can I just say, Laura and China, they did amazing in this scene together. I really, especially Laura. Ooh, that girl, she is so talented.
She's a good actor.
Oh, like, yeah. Like when she was doing that monologue. Oh,
dude,
that monologue.
I think both actors are so good. And I'm honestly, I really want Lauren. I think her name is Lauren. I cannot pronounce her last name. I'm even going to try. Lauren Kay. I would love to see her casted as a Tamaranian on the Titans because she looks like Anna Diab's little sister so much. They look exactly alike.
I've been thinking that.
It's incredible. They look exactly. So I hope she has a very fruitful career because she's really, really good. And she's very young. And she just got engaged. Congratulations, girl.
Wow. Congrats.
But
I think didn't she get cast on the new Wonder Years?
Yes, I think she's working. She's booked and busy, which I'm very glad for her. But this scene, the fight scene itself, amazing, really, really cool. We got like an amazing Easter egg of seeing actual Jennifer Pierce's Lightning comics version of her being her comics. She doesn't have a uniform. She's just full body Lightning, which is something that, you know, the show's never really done because I think it's just a budget thing, which I totally understand. But it was really cool to see it in action. But the glace and all of that, why? Wait, why? When we already established the multiverse last year, it could have just been one of the bad gen trying to take her life over. Why couldn't we do that? It would have connected one of the best episodes we ever had last season to this, and it would have made more sense than just creating a whole new mythology that we can't even wrap our heads around. And it was so. I wanted so much better for what I loved the twist, but the follow through and the explanation didn't match. It didn't match for me.
Yeah, we talked about it in the chat, Vanessa. Like the night of the episode, I was like, I don't understand if this makes any sense. Like I'm not the scientist of the show. Y'all know that's Britney Monae's job. She's the resident scientist, and I'm sitting there like, I don't think this makes any sense. But also, this is amazing. Endorphins. I don't care what the science is behind all of this. I think I would have liked it more, Vanessa, like you said, if they had tied it to that Earth Crisis episode. But looking at what we got, I thought both Laura and China did a great job with the scene. I was also really happy that we got both of our gens interacting, you know, in like a meta, no pun intended, but like in a meta way that both of our Jennifers at least got to share one scene together. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. My thing was, I feel like this story arc could have worked better if they had another season, because that's what it felt like. It felt like this was something that would have been another season, because as we know, if the show was going to continue, China was going to just appear every now and then. So this definitely would have worked to have maybe the rest of the season been mainly Laura or Lauren. Is it Laura or Lauren?
Laura Karuki.
Okay, Laura. And then, like the next season, we would have found out that, oh, actually, our Jin is still alive. Like, it would have worked better that way. Or, yeah, like you guys were saying, at least tie it to the, like, crisis to make it a little bit more tied together for the finale. But, yeah. But I did love seeing both of them on screen. And Laura is just insanely talented. And she's such a beautiful girl. And, like, it's great to see, like, a dark-skinned actress, like, actually get to shine.
Some comments. I'm gonna chat monitor.
Do it.
The JJ Jen plot was very questionable from Mind the Gap. Yes, as we discussed. Andy screaming for the JJ versus Jen saying in the short time she was on, she was very good. Agreed. Lumi said, I'm one of the few who didn't like the JJ character. She was Jen on steroids. Her characterization of Jen, in my opinion, wasn't authentic. The writers dropped hints that something was up with JJ. Fair. Definitely was. I didn't think it was like that she wasn't Jen at all. But I did think that she was. Honestly, I'm just a multiversal whore. I love multiverse. Like I really was holding out for she was just, one of the bad Jens, or it was just for me that was a particularly missed opportunity, since we just learned. There's a couple of different shows that were already talking about how like the effects of crisis and all the people collapsing in on each other, and we have Wellses and all the stuff. The multiverse is well established, so I think it was just a missed opportunity to not have that connect. So at least it was still Jennifer, but a different Jennifer. My biggest thing is like I don't like that she wasn't actually Jennifer, because it makes it feel like she's not legit. I don't know. I don't know if I just attach myself to her. I was like, she looks so great. But I wish she would have just been a different version of Jennifer versus.
Yeah, I agree.
And then I was going to see Jen and her comic book look on the show. Yes, which I don't know how to pull up an image, but Andy was asking if you could pull up that image. I don't know how to do that, but I tweeted at some point. I kind of wish they would have just let there be two Jens. Fair. Laura is gorgeous and talented. I'm glad a dark-skinned actress got the check, and the storyline could have been much better, like so many other things. Absolutely. And I was joking all season. She was regenerated. Love that. Pun Hat Productions.
Yes.
Right. And that's what you missed on the comments.
That's what you're ugly. Wow. The last two moments are kind of just like, I don't know if we can breeze through them if you want, because we do have 2 tweets and 2 emails to read. We have Grace, Anissa, and Gamby. They're basically able to like break into the building where the emitter is at. They are able to turn it off. Of course, they beat up all the goons. The first dude, though, they lit his ass up.
Yo,
I'm sorry. He was like screaming and coming down the stairs on fire, and I was like, "Oh."
He's like the stunt man, like in every Universal stunt show you've been to.
He was doing that slow run, like
yes,
like
backdraft or something.
Have you never heard of stop, drop, and roll, sir?
No, this is his moment, baby. He was gonna shine. Yeah.
Yo, can we talk about one particular moment in this scene real quick? First of all, the music was great. Like that Sugarcane song was amazing.
Yeah.
And this might be a first for the Black Lightning podcast, Vanessa Shark. But I want to credit somebody for using a white privilege. Shout out to Uncle Gamby. When them guards surrounded him, Gamby's like, hey guys, don't shoot me. And they didn't shoot him because he's a nice old white man. We're not going to shoot you, Gamby. And that gave Anissa and Grace the time to come from behind and take all them dudes out. So shout out to Uncle Gamby realizing his white privilege in that moment and using it to help the team.
White and old privilege.
Yes, white and old. Senior
People are
privilege.
ages. I love seeing Manissa's purple suit for like 3 seconds.
Yes.
It's so good.
It's so pretty.
It is. And she did take a hit, as we kind of like saw in the scene. But I loved her mega like thunderclap where like it was all like purple. Yeah, that was awesome. But obviously, we know that she's fine and makes it out okay.
Mhm.
And this last scene, before we get into everything else, is Jen ends up going after Chief Lopez, and Chief Lopez just lost her goddamn mind.
Yeah.
She was like, I'm gonna kill Lightning, and just like, all this stuff. And
Yeah. She looked hyper focused on Lightning. I was like, I thought
Yeah.
you made it all metas, man.
but as we know, Jen wins. And I love the thank you from Brother
Yes.
Hassan. That was great.
It was so exasperated. Like, he was so tired. He was done with Chief Lopez at this point. He's like, thank you. Like, we've been trying to get rid of this chick all season. But here's the thing, Vanessa Shark. Like, has she, like, how you gonna be a supervillain when you don't even take the proper steps? Like, she didn't even change her uniform. She's maybe that's a metaphor though.
Didn't
Like,
put on the lipstick like Nora from The Flash. She didn't even put on the dark gothic.
Where's your lipstick? Your scarf? Oh no! Wait a minute. There we go. Vanessa went to the ionosphere.
Came back.
Are you really Vanessa Shark?
Hey! But she whatever you're saying. She didn't even go full goth.
No.
But I don't know if it's y'all, but like I got a kick when he was just like, thank you. I was like, it sounded like he was just like, thank you. I don't have to handle another meta kind of story out of her freaking mind. Like, I loved it. It was hilarious to me.
Mm-hmm. And Hassan is fine as hell.
Yo, shout out to Wallace Smith, brother Hassan in the building. Dude, okay, here's something that didn't get checked off, but it's not really a big deal, Vanessa. Like, do you think if we had another season, would Hassan now be the chief of police?
That's what I think that they were alluding to. That would make sense. Is that that was his kind of like
and he was
trajectory.
And Henderson and him are cool, so it's more likely that's what's gonna happen. He's someone from the community too, so
absolutely coaching these kids up on the weekend playing basketball and whatnot. We see you, brother Hassan.
I wanted to bring up a comment that Lumi made. I think it was Lumi made earlier that said that she wished better for Jennifer and Khalil, which I think was when we were talking about Jen on the patio part and not her family not recognizing her. I do want to talk about that because we didn't get to see Jen find out that Khalil's memory of her has been completely erased. And that was, a choice. And I also feel like it was really sad that we ended on almost a sad note with her. Sure, she's like getting through it, but towards the end, but like she has to now deal with that trauma, not only the trauma of being stuck in the ionosphere, like, or whatever, and but the fact that her family, most of them, and I think that part of it, with them accepting it so quickly is a part of it was the truncated season and how rushed they had to get to the end. Because I feel like that like you said, Brittany, that would have been a storyline for an entire season. And I think more people would have been suspicious, and we would have seen JJ kind of doing things to prove that she was really Jennifer. So I think we missed some of that. But I find it was really sad that we kind of, Jennifer was really kind of lost a lot here in the finale, and we're never going to see it resolved. So that sucks, I think.
Yeah.
I think to Vanessa's point really quick, like I think part of it is that truncated season, but I also think part of it is that the family just wanted to believe that this was Jen.
Yeah.
Because then the alternative is worse than believing in the lie.
Yeah. Yeah. That's for sure. And I think there's a comment here that I actually wanted to talk about. Stacey G said, Anissa's teasing Grace about using her powers during the fight was cute and hilarious to me. I thought it was interesting because I think it was the last episode or the episode before where Grace had some serious issues with, like, she had some. This is another recurring thing with Thunder Grace this season specifically, is that Grace brings up an issue, Anissa kind of dismisses her, and then it's not really resolved, or it's resolved off camera. Or it's a quick comment like, oh, I see you're enjoying your powers. She's like, I guess I missed them. Never mind. My whole thing was fine. It's whatever. And it just was like I don't think that the banter is cute because Thunder Grace is always cute, but it's once again Grace's reservations and concerns being swept under the rug. I understand it's timing, but I make a note of that because I I will say this. I say this every freaking episode, but I've been a fan of Thunder Grace since I was literally a preteen. Like I've been reading Outsiders was one of the first comics I ever read. So I'm very attached to Grace and Anessa, but Grace specifically because she's bisexual and I'm bisexual. And that's like, I connected with her a lot. So that I've always been really attached. So any little thing, I'm like, give Grace more. Like, so when she was made a regular and like, Chantal was made a regular, it was just, I want more for Grace. And obviously it's not the Grace Choice show or even the the Thunder show, but it was just a recurring thing with them this season was that, every time Grace would raise a concern, it wasn't really fully addressed properly. So yeah. Oh, Mind the Gap said, lots of shows have had that this season, had this problem. COVID can't always be the issue. You're right, but Black Lightning is a better written show. So, period. I'm going to always blame COVID on this particular thing and the cancellation.
Yeah, because I mean,
the Flash, Supergirl, and all the other shows don't have an excuse, but the Black Lightning is a tightly written show. And so I think outside factors had, and people leaving the show had so much more to do with why the show than anything else. Like I think you could say that about a lot of shows this season, especially almost every CW show, but I think Black Lightning really did suffer from things that were out of its control.
Yeah, because if you look at the first 3 seasons, they're all very solid.
Tightly
even
written,
even their filler episodes are actually like tightly connected, so like that's why I think that this really was all the behind the scenes stuff that affected them more than actually like lazy writing or something,
even more so than COVID. Like you said, Vanessa, all these shows, every show is affected by COVID. Like we even seen it with the Marvel shows. Like they're all affected by COVID. But I think like the cancellation when they had already started production, to me, like that's the thing right there. Yeah, it's like you've already got some wheels in motion, and now you got to now we got to reverse and fit this here and take this puzzle piece over here. I think that's why this season wasn't as strong as previous seasons, and I really can't fault them for that.
No, it's hard to be mad at them for that. Like I can,
And I think the other thing, it's like when you talk about like I think COVID being the thing, it's like I think a lot of people don't have the kind of insight into when you have COVID issues and you have to deal with COVID, that budget on the show is going to be increasing because you have to handle COVID protocols on set, which can be very pricey depending on how many people you have on your crew before COVID. How many actors do you have? How many actors are going to be in a scene? Because you also have to remember that you
social distancing.
Yeah, that's the big thing on set, and that's the thing. Like things that I'm dealing with in my job day to day of being like, how many people are on set? Yeah. What's the budget going to be? How does this affect the budget? Stuff like that. I think like, especially knowing Salim, he was like definitely had a mindset, but especially you can't do the same stuff that you would do pre-COVID now that we're COVID. So I think, when you have to take away set pieces, you have to take away things are naturally going to become jumbled and not have a lot of clarity, or there's not going to be a lot of context because you're trying to have to figure out how to cut corners to still deliver a good show within a cancellation and COVID restrictions. And it's tricky. It's just like not just being like, oh, we're in COVID, so we can't do the same things. No, it's a completely different approach and said to it. And even sometimes because of COVID, you're working longer hours too. Because you have to get different scenes, you have to figure out who's going to be on set. It's a whole issue. So I think like,
and them days is long anyway to begin with.
Exactly.
Right. Yes. So you're talking like 12 hours getting inflated to, 16, 18-hour days to make sure you're to make sure you're getting everything that you need. So
yeah,
it's a sacrifice that, unfortunately does affect the show,
Yeah.
James Gilmore.
Do you have any other? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm curious. Has the CW had a change of program directors the last 2 years? Program like Pedowitz, isn't he the dude that's been in charge the whole time?
But isn't now a Black woman in charge?
Oh,
did she replace Pedowitz? Is that the?
So I think what you're talking about is Channing Dungey is now. I forget what I think she's like the head of Warner Brothers Television, and she replaced me Roth. I know Andy's in the chat. Andy can check me if I'm wrong, but I think that was the big thing, the big change between the first 3 seasons of Black Lightning and everything that's happening with the CW to now. And Channing Dungey came from not only Netflix, but she also came from ABC. So she's definitely going to have a different approach to how she's going to be doing things, not only as like it affects like other Warner Brothers television shows on other networks, but also the CW as a whole. So that could be a big effect of like why we're seeing things and maybe why Black Lightning got canceled too. We don't know, but I think it's interesting to theorize kind of like what those effects would be.
Yes. Do we want to go to emails, tweets?
Yes. So we have a tweet from, it's at MC Macaulay Cat, I think, and then her name is Kathleen, or their name is Kathleen. And this was a quote tweet of one of our tweets, and they said, goodbye to one of my best past experiences. Thank you to the Akils for providing such an incredible environment for diverse creatives, # Black Lightning. And then we have a tweet from at Miss IV_League, also known as Emily Empire. And they said, I wish another platform would pick it up, meaning Painkiller, or I think even Black Lightning. It's like our amazing shows with leads of color always are the first to go. So sad. I agree.
Yeah. I saw Clement the other day. Clement was on with Mike over at Nerd Soul, and they touched on something that I've been thinking about a lot lately with Black Lightning, and it's like the importance of this show.
Yeah.
In retrospect, and that's something like I think we can get into a little bit even deeper on our next episode, where we kind of do like a series wrap up. But I feel like, man, yeah, the show ended prematurely, but you can't diminish what this show has meant, because I feel like, you know, there's a reason Black Panther and Black Lightning are on my wall, because, you know, those two shows plus Luke Cage, I think, really opened up a lot of doors and eyes and minds about representation in Hollywood. And like y'all got to remember, man, that first season of Black Lightning, how that hit, and how we had this representation of this Black family and Black masculinity, and, you know, LGBTQ issues within the Black community, and like different versions of just life. Like we saw Jefferson at school, we saw Chief Henderson, we saw Lynn, we saw Nissa Jen, and like the fact that we got this on the CW, man, on the CW.
Yeah,
like, I think that's a big deal, and yeah, it's ending way too early, and I think the network did them dirty in a lot of ways. But the fact that we got this show for 4 years, man, I think it was very important. It was a good show, and like, you know, just talking about like Lamont being here tonight, like there's so many ripples from this show that we've yet to see. Whether you're talking about, you know, Laura or China or Jordan, Lamont, you know, the rest of the cast and crew. Like there's going to be so many waves from Black Lightning that we see in the years to come. And so you got to give, you know, the Akils tip of the cap for bringing this show to us.
Yeah. I mean, Nate, you're making me a little bit emotional too.
Me too. I was like, don't cry. Like, and
it's like, and I think one of the things I made on, you know, the Nerd Soul podcast with Mike was we had Luke Cage, we had Black Lightning, and then we had Black Panther come out. It was like a 1, 2, 3 effect. And each of these shows showed us not only they complement each other, but also they also showed you that there's not real one way to be Black. And I think that's right. We're not a monolith, and I think that's really important in the context of Black Lightning, because even like you have someone who like Anissa, who is is lesbian, but it was just as they didn't make a big deal about it. This is who she is. This is how we're going to deal with it. And, you know, it's all love at the end of the day. And I love how they kind of took that into effect and they just made that the character. It wasn't like an always like big thing about it. Not to say that it shouldn't be a big thing, but it's also more of we accept this person for who she is. And you have someone like even like Tobias, who, Tobias is Black, but also he is what we call
anti-Black.
He's self-hating Black man in the Black community, and the four of us know, or at least the four of us know what impact that has in the Black community of someone who hates on their own race or goes off their own right? So I think the one thing I'm appreciative for Black Lightning is that it shows us that there's not really one way to be Black. And even like before the show got to CW, you got to remember the show was going to be on Fox.
And they passed on it.
And I think we dodged a bullet there, because if it probably would have been on Fox, we probably would have got 4 seasons as it is.
No, Fox is known for like not letting their shows with diversity go on for long. Like Sleepy Hollow, the first season of that show is immaculate. Yeah. And then when they found out that people were hardcore shipping like the 2 main characters because as a Black woman and a white man, that's when they started to reduce her character. And it was just like, wait, she's the main character. Why is she in the background? And then she was like killed off the show, basically. And then you find out Nicole Bahari, who was the lead on the show, had like the same like health issues that her male lead had. And they were like, that was part of the reason why they were like treating her the way she did. So Fox would not have been a good place, because I think they just canceled some other show that people really like, Prodigal Son. Save Prodigal Son. My friend loves that show, so I'm rooting for it to come back somehow too. But yeah, and they did the same thing to Pitch.
Don't get started about Pitch. Pitch should still be on TV if it were up to me. And that's what I'm. And then, sorry, Britt, I didn't mean to.
No, I was just setting examples of what like would have happened if Black Lightning was on Fox. They probably would not have been able to do what they've done with this show too, just story wise.
I mean, even the season hasn't really been as strong as the first 3, but even like them addressing Breonna Taylor or Trayvon Martin wouldn't happen on Fox.
Those weren't really addressing the. It's not addressing. Those are paying. It's more paying homage, because they didn't really address it.
But like even that still wouldn't happen on Fox.
Well, no shit, but yeah, I want to be very clear that what they did was really more of a pantomime of Black pain, and something that a critique that I've had of this particular season is that they really heightened up the amplification of putting Black pain on TV, which I want better for us than that. We can do better as Black creators than to keep doing that. But what I wanted very clear, it's that they didn't address it at all. And they made those scenes, and then they didn't actually talk about any of that stuff that happened. So that's another miss, I think, from the season. But we do have some comments that we're kind of going.
Because they definitely handled it better in the first 3 seasons.
We have some comments I want to talk about. Yeah. So we have some. Sorry, we're getting a lot of stuff. But hold on. Channing became WPDP president after Peter Roth. Yes, confirmed. I feel Daryl Washington said, I feel so bad for Chantal Touré, who plays Grace. 1 week after being announced as a regular, the cancellation news came out. Yeah, that was a little rude.
Was hard for us, because we were like, we had just recorded this episode where I cried too. We recorded an episode like I think before the news came out, and you hadn't released the episode yet, where we were like,
because it was Chantel and they announced
Pink, and we were just like so happy. And
the
then
Liddy Awards.
Literally, it was,
we did the Liddy Awards, and then that was it.
I think that's part of where my anger at CW comes from, because like they really slapped me in the face. Because I was excited for
like
all that
even
stuff.
I touched on it earlier, Vanessa. Like I feel like even announcing Painkiller's fate on the same day, like that, I feel like you either could have did that last week, man, or you could have did it the next day. Like just
literally the next day, they could have waited 24 hours. So disrespectful. To everyone. They're literally already mourning the fact that their show is ending. And then you got Jordan like, but at least like, nope, not, you can't even have for a day.
And then Jordan had to come out and make like a, let's not ruin, the season finale of Black Lightning and about, Painkiller being canceled, that sucks that he had to even make that announcement.
Yeah.
Like you shouldn't have to do that. And I think what makes me more mad is that we found out the same time as all of the cast and the writers found out that the show was being canceled. Like we found out, and then I saw a tweet from like the top tweet on my feed after that was from Christopher Emmanuel, who plays TC, saying no. Like that's all it said was no, I think. And I cried, because I was like, they find out when we found out. That really
Yeah.
hurt, I think, more than anything. It was just like, no, it
Yeah.
shouldn't be that way.
It was a series of disrespectful decisions made by the CW after a summer of being like, we care about Black voices. They like don't though. They only care about Black voices that fall in line in their step. So they basically, and I've said this in the chat and I'll say it out loud, I think it's very interesting that, you know, when shows end or showrunners get replaced with other showrunners, Mr. Brilliant always manages to keep those people in his network. Todd Helbing's over there doing his gray scale thing over on Superman and Lois. AJK had his fingers in everything until he got. Guggenheim is still ruining things for everybody, even though he's been fired. So the fact that we got the news that Salim signed a deal with, I think it was AB, whoever it was not within the WB family. I knew then, like, what was it, 2 weeks ago we got that news? I knew Painkiller wasn't going. I knew it was done because if it's not under, like, he's doing that, he's not Ryan Murphy to get to work with like all kinds of, he's not Ryan Murphy. So that's where I was just like, I think it's over. And I think it's interesting that that's the decision that was made. They basically are like, no, we don't care about the kills. It's Ava DuVernay time now. But like, okay, cool. Like, because I think there's a certain acceptable Black folk that they like over at CW. And I'm going to say that real clear. But I do want to, there are still some comments I want to say, but I wanted to get that off my chest because.
And even then, WB did Ava dirty with New Gods.
Yeah. Well,
that's the thing. I don't know if that was entirely her being done dirty because she's got a 5-year deal with and all this other stuff going on. I just think New Gods is not being happening at all. They are moving in a different direction, and New Gods going to fall into place with whatever they're doing over there. I don't think that was it because if they were going to do Ava dirty, they would have been like, "We're done with New Gods anyway," and like Ava got left in the dust. No, she got a sweet package deal to get Naomi not only approved, pilot full series order.
Yeah,
like and Painkiller and the kills have been. It's just an interesting kind of thing that I don't know. I find it very weird because they're very good at keeping people in their network. They are, and I always find that impressive. Tom Cavanaugh, another example. My guy has just sold a pilot. He's working on a musical. He's literally he's directing the season finale of Superman and Lois. They like to keep people in their network. I think it's interesting that
that used to be the joke about the CW. Like they don't get rid of shows. They don't get rid of people. That used to be the joke.
It seems like they're like shedding that kind of reputation, and the first people that are going are the blackest and brownest of us, and that feels wrong, in my opinion. But I'm sorry, there's some questions. Sorry, if you guys have any points to add, go ahead. But I feel bad I'm missing everyone's comments.
No, go over the comments. Then we got 2 emails to read still. Yeah.
Annie said Black Lightning was the only superhero show my mother would even watch with me. She hates comic book shows, but I got her to watch season 1 of Black Lightning, and she straight up loved it. She said in Farsi, "So smart, yay!" Love that. And then he said he's crying now because you guys were talking about, you know, the importance of the show, and we know, we feel that. Mind the Gap said I can barely think of any shows on Fox now that aren't cartoons. I literally thought the same thing. I was like, is there any other show?
Besides The Masked Singer?
Is that on that? Oh. I thought it was just Family Guy.
I'm behind, but so far, because like me and my mom and my aunt watch together, and we keep like score of like how many people we've all gotten right. I've got the most right this season. I'm like, yeah. They were down me called the me on Mark McGrath. Ooh,
I'm just happy Bobby Brown got a check in 2021. I know that white boy's voice anyway. Like, shout out to Bobby Brown.
Yes, yeah. Me and my mom were like, is that Bobby? Tyrese too.
That was a hit talking.
Tyrese was on there?
Yeah. I was like,
the father of memes. Throwing the towel. James Gilmore said Black family shows with strong Black leads don't last with an angry face. Agreed. It's hard. This was the only Black superhero led show that, right? Look, we literally like had, and that is now gone until I guess we get Naomi.
We got Batwoman, but that's a new like. We
Black
just got
Javicia. Yeah, let's say like full black. Like we got 2 Black people on that show, right? 3 Black people.
We're predominantly Black cast. It was Luke Cage and Black Lightning.
Yeah, like ones. Yeah. Something that actually like was like about Black life, but not like a caricature of it. Like Black Lightning is very unique. Batwoman,
and I think even more important than Black led in front of the camera, Black led behind the camera. Batwoman is Carolyn.
Yep. Yes. Agreed. And then what else? Oh, hi, Ollie. He said,
Ali, what's
yeah,
up?
you're right. We do. We're about to read your email, so we got you. And then Mind the Gap, he did send us an email. He said he neglected to mention CW's bad choices. We're about to read your comment, or we're about to read your emails now. Happy Productions, I never finished Gotham, neither did I. I stopped at season 2. I'm done.
So I'm gonna assume that Alex is Mind the Gap.
Love Mind the Gap. All the comments and
unless you sent an email after I prepared the document. I'm gonna assume Mind the Gap is Alex.
Okay.
This is a long one. This is why our document is 4 pages long. I'm kidding. It's 4 pages long because I add extra commentary that we don't even read.
Sorry, I didn't want to assume your gender.
Anyway,
it is Alex. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. I always add extra commentary in our documents that like don't always make it to the show, and it's just me like crying in my feels and stuff like that. That's why our documents are 4 pages long. So Alex said, first time, last time thoughts. In an ideal world of the adventures of these characters would continue, I do feel like even if they were aware of the final fate of the show and had to take into account COVID filming, the JJ/Jen plot made no sense. It also feels a little disrespectful to the actress. I almost thought Jen was going into a similar direction to Swamp Thing as an elemental, only with lightning or electricity. I haven't seen Swamp Thing, actually.
It's so good. You have to watch it.
So good.
I know.
Yeah.
The guy from Lost is in it. So like my dad's like, when are we going to watch Swamp Thing? Because we're a Lost family.
Gross, but it's good.
Yeah. And Alex also said it was great to see the family together and happy in their last scene. Also liked seeing Lala back again. Of course, I love Lala. Even if the show has ended, at least their stories have potential to continue in some other way. It was so cool to see Black Lightning have a show however long it lasted. And cool to see Jennifer and Anissa make their way into the mainstream pop culture. I hope the characters gain new fans who will want to see more of them. I feel like the show was a victim of timing both as it aired and thanks to this pandemic. It feels like a chapter with these DC TV shows is coming to a close. Thanks for the years of dedication to the show on the podcast. Thank you, Alex. That was a very nice email.
Yeah, and I agree with a lot of what you said, especially the elemental thing. That would have been cool. And I'm pretty sure, I'm not caught up yet, but I'm pretty sure that's what Black Light Jefferson becomes in Future State comics. He, him. Thank you. Sorry, I wanted to make sure. And I believe that's what Black Lightning becomes in Future State to help Duke Thomas out. Is he becomes like a state of pure lightning, like kind of an elemental like Swamp Thing. Which so I think that's exactly. I would have loved that, and I think that they had that kind of taste or whatever, like a little bit of those vibes. But yeah, I agree. I think definitely a victim of timing as it aired. I think it was always the redheaded stepchild of the CW, and. It just, it always was an uphill battle, but yeah.
Right. So we are going to read our tweet from Ollie, and he says in his email, this is Super Ollie74 from Twitter. First of all, I cannot believe this show is over after 4 years. I have never been a big fan of Black Lightning from reading the comics. The show made me a bigger fan of him. 4 years is way too short for a character like Black Lightning and family. To think this show to have the fewest episodes in 4 years than the other Arrowverse shows. The last episode was a good episode. I enjoyed every single bit. It definitely feels like it can go and do more seasons. I will definitely miss the show. Stay lit forever. Super Ollie 74, aka Ollie.
Ollie, thanks. I always see your mentions. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, we appreciate you so much. Whew.
You guys are making me emotional.
I know. Gosh, like even when I was signing off on Monday live tweeting, I was just like,
Monday night was crazy. Like, our high school
never
graduation, Vanessa Stark.
Yeah, I know. I was like, please stop. I'm gonna cry. This show brought me you guys. Like, it's,
You know what?
I don't want to get emotional. Please, I can't.
I know. I'm like trying not to. I have a box of Woody.
Well, maybe we should save all the crying for our last episode of this.
I can't. I already started. It's fine.
We're crying.
I love you guys. I love this show so much.
Oh man,
I love the show. I love podcasting with you all.
But
yeah, I had, the start of the show with Clement, and it was supposed to be Connie, which I have never shied away from mentioning Connie and Dorian being a part of this family because they started it with me. And yeah, fake fan Dorian. And it was so much fun just doing it with them. And even when Dorian was on every now and then, Nate started off as a regular person who would email us. And when season 2 was happening, and I think it was because Clement couldn't make it, and I couldn't find any other guests, and I literally reached out to Nate, and I'm like, "Hey, this is last minute, but I need someone to co-host an episode with me. Can you come on?" And he did.
Britney wrote me. She was like, "We are outgunned, outmanned, outnumbered, outplanned. I'm gonna need a right-hand man."
Yes, basically that's what happened, and yeah.
I feel like when Nate joined, Nate's voice is so soulful that I feel like every Sunday when we record, I feel like I was going to church.
Yeah. I feel like it shifted just us three when it was just us three before Vanessa joined us. Like, I feel like it shifted the way me and you would podcast because of,
Yeah. I feel like the week is so hard for us because we're in our jobs and we're dealing with, life and adulting. And when I talked to you guys, it felt like, I don't want to get cliche, but like soulful, like every Sunday you're breaking bread with a family, especially like with us bonding over our show and, us bringing our different viewpoints and perspectives to the show, business and you guys and everything else. It's just like, it was the release that I needed every week.
Yeah.
And especially, I've talked to you guys about some of the stuff that's been happening, behind the scenes. And this was the perfect thing that I needed, especially with Sundays, because it was like a way of like talking with, my brothers and sisters. And I think,
Yeah.
No,
it's for real. Like, I moved out to Vegas and like had no friends, and especially not being around a lot of Black folks, like, and so like being able to talk to you guys weekly and like talk about, and even more importantly, talking about like stuff that I like. Comic books is everything to me. Like I will talk to you about a comic book storyline all day. So this is literally like everything to me, being able to talk to other Black people about comic books, because that wasn't really the thing when I was growing up. Me and my brother were the nerdy Black kids in high school that listened to like punk rock and read comic books. People kind of thought we were dorks, and I just love that it's a mainstream thing now, and we get to have Black Lightning and Naomi coming up, and Captain Marvel being Black, and the the new Marvel, like a little tiny Marvel. I can't remember her official name. I'm not a Marvel person. The little Marvel, Miss Marvel, she being a brown girl.
Yes,
yeah.
Brown representation.
I love seeing what used to be something that we used to get made fun of when I was 14, 15, being like a literal thing. Like, this is. People get jobs off this stuff. I've seen people on my timeline now writing Wonder Woman and like stuff for Marvel. Like, it's really cool. Like, and it's a money maker. It's a stress reliever. It's therapy. It's church. It's like, when in Soul Food, the movie where everyone comes to family dinner, that's what it is.
And the Kills did that too. The Kills,
Oh my God, of course.
The Kills did the movie Soul Food.
Yeah,
this is like soul food for us. Like you said, they would meet up in that movie every Sunday for their family dinner, and this is what it was for us. And I just can't, like, this show has meant everything to me, especially I think when we all came together with Nate and Vanessa joining, it really felt like it was the right exact mix. And not that Connie and Dorian were wrong, but it just really felt like this was like this is what it was supposed to be. And when we got the cancellation, I was just worried that was going to be it for us. Like, we weren't going to talk really outside of this podcast, which I know that's not true, but that's what I felt like. I was like, I love these people. Like, they're part of my everyday. Like, we check in with each other every day. So it's going to be weird not talking about Black Lightning, but the Lituation room isn't over.
No, but like for me, Cap, like I feel like I always say everything happens for a reason. I'm the only person that's ever said that. And like, I think, Clement, like you and Britney and Dorian and Connie laid a great foundation. And then, when I was able to come on, like, I feel like the three of us just had this energy. And then, like the macaroni and cheese, it was already hitting. But then you take that spice, you put that razzle dazzle on the top with Vanessa Short. And I feel like the four of us came together at the right time. And this show, getting back to Black Lightning, happened at the right time because, we can, like, I agree with you, Vanessa, in terms of the way this last season was how they mentioned or paid homage to some of these issues. But I feel like this show in this time, in Black America, was so important, and to be able to get, like, there's a reason all of our episodes are like 3 hours long, because it's like right, it's like half show, half what's going on in the real world, and like to be able to talk about it with you three has been just like a great thing these past couple years. And like I think like there's a reason like we connected, and also like the audience that talks to us, man, and talks about the show and what the show meant to them. There's a reason for all of this, and like I think much like Black Lightning, because I know where Britney was going. Much like Black Lightning, this past season took the hand they was dealt and played the hell out of it. Much like not even just Black Lightning, but like Black people and people of color in general for the history of time been dealt the worst hand. But still gonna play it. Like this ain't the last you'd have heard of us, Britney Monae. Tell these people what we got for them.
So the four of us.
I don't know why I slipped in the Puff Daddy voice.
That's fine. The four of us are sticking together, and the Lituation Room will live on. The Black Lightning podcast itself, technically, because we're not going to be talking about Black Lightning anymore, it's going to be gone. We are going to do a podcast where we're talking about everything in Black culture, whether it is Marvel, DC, what have you, Netflix, whatever. If it's nerdy and cool and we think it speaks to us, we are going to talk about it. And we actually get to cuss, so it's not going to be family friendly, probably. But it will be a part of the DC TV podcast network. And it will be the Lituation Room, which I think is going to be on the same feed currently on the Black Lightning podcast. If you guys love us enough to still listen to us talk about any other stuff, then stay tuned, because that's what's gonna happen for sure from us. We get to cuss away. Woo!
I'm very excited about this. I always want to talk about Black people in comics. I can't wait. Oh my God. You guys are gonna you're gonna feel the full weirdness of me.
I had a funny story to share with you guys too. I think some of you guys know, but talking about the impact that Black Lightning has, but also this podcast has had. I think when Black Panther came out, we did this massive excursion to the ArcLight Theater and on Sunset to see Black Panther. And it was me, it was Mike from Nerd Soul, it was Danny Fernandez. There was a lot of people that showed up, and even Mark Bernardin was there. And so I'm sitting in I'm sitting at like this. Dorian was there. There was like Markia McCarty was there. Everyone was there. And I'm sitting here talking about Black Lightning, and this guy comes up. He's like, "Hey, man, you sound really familiar." And it was like, "Oh, cool. Thanks." And he's like, "Wait, I know you from somewhere." He was like, "You're on the Black Lightning podcast." He was like, "Man, my name is Lamont McGee. I'm a writer on Black Lightning." And I was like, "Whoa!" Like,
yes.
It came completely out of left field, and then so much so I wasn't expecting it. And that's how we kind of started a relationship with Mont through the podcast. And I was like, that was the first time that like something online for me has clicked in real world.
That's amazing.
And even so much like, me and Lamont, like when I started working in Burbank, he's like, "You're working in Burbank? Oh man, you should come over to this thing that's happening on the lot." And you should meet Jordan and all these people. I was like, wait, what is happening? Right now? It was like a Memorial Day live watch, and like Jay was there. I remember I told you guys this, but like this whole thing, man, it's amazing, and I kind of attribute it to you guys, and thank you for putting up with my crazy work schedule the way it is, because I know it's not easy, and I want to acknowledge the fact that you guys are family to me, right? Yeah. So I'm very thankful for Nate. As much as I'm saying I don't have an OnlyFans account, so remember that. and the name is Clement Bryant, not Clement.
That was still like the best joke ever.
Yo, was that a Dinah who wrote that email or that tweet?
Jazzy Caramel or something? Oh, yes. Yeah. That was hilarious. I miss her. I wonder how she's doing. She used to tweet us a lot last season.
Yeah. Maybe she gave up on the show.
Maybe.
Shout out to you, wherever you are.
Hope you're doing well. We got one more comment from Lumi. Andy's just in and out of chat, but you guys can read those. Lumi said, I always listen to the podcast. This is my first time watching live and commenting. Appreciate y'all. Thanks for joining, and thanks for everyone for joining and all your comments. Yes. I hope I got most of them.
I think you did.
Wow. And in the document, there's usually a part where it says thoughts for next episode. We ain't got one. So yes, like we said, the Lituation Room is happening. We will obviously release more details about that probably because we're going to do one more pre-recorded episode. Maybe more if anyone who worked on the show wants to join us, then maybe that's how you'll get more Black Lightning podcast episodes. But officially going forward, this is for sure the Lituation Room, and who knows, I might introduce it as a formerly known as the Black Lightning podcast, just to keep that going.
And it's not like we'll never talk about Black Lightning again. He exists and he's thriving as well as Thunder Crazy in the comics.
Yes. I'm saying, look, we might talk about him next year. Coming to Central City out here.
Oh yeah, my God, exactly. Like I think we should have if he does get to be on the Flash, we'll definitely have a special big like Black Lightning's back episode. I would love that because that's our dad. He born us. He birthed us. This is why we exist. So we'll never not ignore Black Lightning. He's always priority.
Yeah, he will obviously be priority on the Lituation Room because it's like, well,
where's the after party? Everybody's living rooms.
I was gonna say, like, look. I didn't want to tell you guys. I wanted it to be a surprise, but
Andy.
I set up a reservation for us at 2 Bits Bar.
Yes,
so we got to get there on time.
Do they have peach bellinis? Because that's what I want.
I want to see 2 Bits make a peach bellini so bad because I just know he doesn't know what that is.
I don't know. It looked like 2 Bits had 2 things on the menu. Every time we saw Jefferson at the bar this season, it was either beer or brown liquor.
Exactly.
I could probably get like a Malibu rum with pineapple juice. He can probably do that for me.
He's like, I can't do that, but I could put some lemon in your Hennessy for you.
He's like, I got peach juice, a peach Snapple. You want that? But Andy, he's the last time I wanted to say thank you, Andy, for bringing us all together. He said, I'm standing up in my living room, applauding all 4 of you. Bless all of you.
Yes. Yeah. Shout out to brother Andy. Like, here's the thing, because I like what Vanessa said earlier, man. Like, this show, and I mean not only Black Lightning, but this podcast is something that you would not see 10 years ago. Yeah. Especially like growing up in the 90s, like Black people didn't talk about this stuff. Like we watched, we read, but it wasn't talked about. And like I think the first time I ever did a podcast that wasn't sports related was Luke Cage, because that show just hit me in a way. And so then to flip on, because I was already listening to the Flash podcast, and I would listen to Legends every now and then. And then I was like, oh, well, they got a Black Lightning show. And so the first time I listened to it, just hearing these Black people talk about this Black show, I was like T'Challa when he first come through the clouds and Wakanda, like, we are home. So like, this
I think your first email was commenting on the one email we had read on the previous episode where someone had like said,
Yes.
I don't like the blackety tone of this show or
Yo.
I
whatever.
remember you guys talking about that.
And then his email was like, what's up, blackety people? And at first, when I was reading it, I was like, oh no, what is this? And then when I read the rest of it, I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And so he kept like emailing us like the first season every now and then, and people like with my blackety thoughts, and I love your blackety voices, and it was just a thing. So it was hilarious. But that person who used to email us, they don't email us anymore.
Yo, that first email, I remember listening. He was like, I don't like all these blackety black thoughts. Why would you do this on a
like
show
people
called
want
Black
like
Lightning?
Yeah, they want like white thoughts about Black Lightning. Like that's not this. That's
Like
not
you can get that anywhere.
Yeah, just go to Twitter, read the comments.
Yeah, I remember me and Connie were like this email, and then like when we got yours, we were dying because like you were clowning, and it was just so good. Oh my gosh!
Man,
Wow,
y'all are some great people, man, and y'all making me emotional. I can't. I've been so emotional this week. I don't need to get emotional.
I have too. I was emotional live tweeting it because I was like,
Yeah.
Oh my god, I hate that I bring everything back to Hamilton, but
Oh God.
okay, so Christopher Jackson, who plays George Washington in the show, he was the original cast member who like stayed the longest, and his last performance of One Last Time, which is the song that George Washington sings when he's no longer in the show, and he's basically like, I'm gonna spend the rest of my life and just kind of like grow old and die. And he's saying his one last time, I'll teach you like how to say goodbye and all this stuff. And like, I was like I'm Christopher Jackson right now. Cause I remember how like much he was crying doing that last performance.
Yes.
And I mean, he always cries when he does that because he's just such a good actor, but like, it was different when it was his last time singing One Last Time. And I used to sign off all the time, and like we have, a season finale, and it's like, all right, guys, this is it for the season. But this was like, no, this is my one last time live tweeting this show, and I was just like, oh no, like I cried after like I had finished live tweeting. I cried, I definitely cried, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you had messaged me, I was like, oh man, I'm gonna cry when we record the last show. And I did.
I know. I didn't mean to. I was like, it's like self-fulfilling prophecy with the box in front of me. Oh man, it means a lot. It was a good show. It's a good show. I really love the show. One day,
Gone
we'll hear
too soon.
from the cast.
Yeah,
Can't wait to hear from the cast.
Yes.
I mean, if we learn nothing else, Vanessa Shark, and here's the thing, folks. Like usually, I'll be behind the curtain. I'll be editing out all the bad words and whatnot. But it's the last show. So you know what? Like Vanessa, if we learn nothing else from this great show, Black Lightning, it's this one life lesson. You got to bring ass to get ass. In the words of Chief Henderson, you got to bring ass to get ass.
Get ass. Yes.
The most iconic quote of the show. My husband had that as his profile picture for months. The video of that clip actually went viral on Twitter. It's the one time I saw a Black Lightning clip ever go viral, and it was literally Chief Henderson saying,
you gotta bring ass to get ass. And I can't remember what the context was of it, and even like Damon saw it and just like that was just hilarious.
Damon, he's so stoic and like just he could be a professor, and he just delivered that line.
He's a conductor.
He's a conductor, which is wild.
Yeah, which I don't know if you guys watched it. He was doing a conducting thing, I think in Philly, where he was like conducting the greatest like film scores or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Like
that's cool,
dude. That's wild. Yeah, but that seems like something he would do. And then like to hear him say that was just
he's got the range. He's got the range.
This cast, man. Like one time for the cast, because like
seriously,
from top to bottom, the biggest name on the call sheet to the last name, like even somebody like Dr. Jace. Like Dr. Jace was wild for 2 seasons. Or somebody like, bringing back these great Black actors that we know, but your CW audience might not know, like a Bill Duke or Erica Alexander, Robert Townsend. Like this show was Wait, Wayne Brady was on a superhero show, y'all, playing a villain. Come on.
Yes.
Jill Scott. Can we please applaud Jill Scott and
Jill
the way
Scott.
everything that she's just a blessed woman. I love her so much. And Lady E was one of my favorite characters that the show ever gave me. So.
But like even the day players, like people who were like, just henchmen or whatever, they were also like really bringing it.
Our soft fluffy bro, what's his name?
Oh, Rafael Castillo.
Yes. I love Devontae. He's
Shout
so active on Twitter. Him and Christopher are so active on Twitter, as well as Chantal. They're so engaged with the fandom. The cast is
really good on like even like Wallace and I forget the name. I believe Melissa D'Souza played Chief Lopez. Like she was on Twitter. Like the cast was so good interacting with the audience.
Yeah.
LaWanda and yes. And
Will, remember Will, like from season 1?
Yes, like even he like everybody who had a part on this show, even people like I said who were in non-speaking roles, like you could tell that they were like, I'm on Black Light. It felt, I don't know why, it just felt like everyone brought it.
Here's how crazy Black Lightning is.
Brandon, shout out to Brandon. Sorry, how much you brought up Brandon and
aka Troy Polamalu Jr.
It was like he never existed this season. I'm so sad. Him and his beautiful hair.
I think I read he was supposed to come back, but because of COVID.
Yeah, I know. It was the same thing with like a lot of the like characters on the shows. Like the guests couldn't come back because they had to quarantine for 2 weeks. I get it, but shout out to Brandon.
Here's how crazy Black Lightning is, man. Like the cast was so amazing. Remember, there was like a 2-week span where Cape Dude was like just hot on Twitter.
Yes, Cape Dude.
Cape Dude was. Like just the 2 episodes he had, Cape Dude got the most out of that. So shout out to that brother Cape Dude, wherever you are, man.
No, like everyone really brought it. That's what I say, non-speaking roles to like minor speaking roles to like, people where we actually know their names, and like everyone really brought it on this show. So it's just crazy to think how good everyone was. But like my favorite will always be Will Catlett, because that man, talk about acting gravitas, man. Yeah. And Crondon too, like especially for I think this being Crondon's first acting role. Good.
Yeah.
Dude.
They're commanding the role. Yeah.
Mm.
All right. I gotta eat dinner, guys.
I'll say we're gonna be here all night, Brittany. We
will. All right. Well, then before we go, where can our listeners find y'all on social media? Vanessa Shork.
You can find me, Vanessa Shark. Literally, I'm on Vanessa Shark on everything. I do have multiple Tumblr blogs that aren't under Vanessa Shark, and I will not be telling you. I have a website that I actually talked about Black Lightning on. I'm really bad at publishing posts, but I did talk about Black Lightning on my latest post. I did publish it on Monday. Just kind of about what Black Lightning means to me. I did shade CW a little bit, so if you want to go read it, go ahead. I am also on a weed marijuana focused podcast, which we talk with my friend Jennifer, and Nate actually brought us together. So we're just connecting and making connections all around. Andy connected me with them. Nate connected me with Jennifer, and I'm on a podcast with her. We talk about marijuana. We recently just talked about her being a weed mom, and me, I'm going to be a mom. I'm hopefully going to be a mom soon, and what that means for I
thought we was about to get an announcement tonight,
I was ready too. I was like, I'm gonna be an auntie again.
The hope is that I get pregnant this year. That's my hope. And like, so our podcast is the last episode was talking about weed mom and like that life and all that. So that's called hot_tokes, hot tokes, or no, just hot tokes on Twitter, whatever. It's called Hot Tokes, and it is we just talk about marijuana. So that's another project I'm on, and I'll be doing the Lituation Room with the fam. And so, you can also check my site for other places in the community to donate to. I just updated it. There's been a few volunteer places that I'm doing. Donate to your community, donate to mutual aid funds. It is so important to help your community. So important. We literally learned this last year that we are literally all we have. Mm-hmm. People at the federal level, state level, even, it's all about local. And it's something I learned, having to dive into seeking community help and all that stuff. That's something that, we all have to, there's no shame in that, do that. And give $20, give $15, give $5. Never feel weird about giving money to anything. You see someone's Cash App, they're at the hospital, give them a few dollars. Like, you can afford it. Most of you can afford it. Do it. We are literally all we have. And I want to just promote that message of community, because they will always demonize it. And it's never a bad thing to help and do that. So that's all I got to promote. Vanessa Shark, Hot Tokes, communism.
Well, who wasn't, I guess, Tuxedo Mask this episode, but we love him. But fell out his chair for us. Clement Bryant, where can they find you on social media?
See, y'all didn't have to do that disrespect. And also, Andy,
it's the last show. We have to.
And also, Andy, take that picture down from Twitter. I saw that picture. Don't think I didn't.
Wait, Andy posts.
No, you better not. You better not retweet it.
Screen cap. Somebody get that screen cap. I need
that is not. See. This is why.
Yes.
This is why I can't keep y'all around. I can't keep y'all. That is not funny. Andy, delete that picture.
Delete that footage.
It's so cute. I can't.
Delete it. Delete that footage.
It's on camera roll now.
Y'all are ridiculous.
I want to use it. Yeah, I'm saving it.
No.
Screenshot.
Nope.
His passion is graphic design.
Nope.
Okay.
You can be the next meme, Clement.
All y'all are guilty. Anyways, Twitter, Instagram, at Clement Bryant. Okay. First of all, I am not Clement Bryant. I do not have an OnlyFans account because these three will tell you something different. Okay. I only have Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook. That's it. Anyways, this has been a blast. I'm emotional. On a serious tip, you guys have enriched my life in ways that you guys don't even know. So thank you so much.
You.
And Andy, thumbnail for this episode? No.
Yes. Violence.
Just so good.
Andy,
we should continue to do live shows in the future. I agree. I think live shows are fun.
Yeah, this as much fun as the first one was for the season premiere. Like we just took it to a whole nother level tonight.
Well, because I think I prepared a decent document.
And you're on camera. You are on camera.
Last time I wasn't because I think. Thank you, because I think last time I literally just came home from work.
Three of us.
Yeah. I know you just got off work.
Yeah, and today I got off work and got to take a nap. So yay!
Beauty rest. We feel it.
Rested, refreshed.
Yeah.
Well, my right hand man, the venerated Virginian, Brother Nate. Where can we find you on social media?
Y'all know how I do. We get real sensitive for my plugs.
Why is this smells like Keith Sweat?
Yo, real quick. Those are two storylines that got dropped, Vanessa Shark. The ancillary love interest with Keith and Lauren. But you know what? I really didn't care. Yeah, lawyer Keith and Lauren Gamby's boo. We didn't get any resolution.
Yeah. Okay. That felt more fleshed out than the JJ's thing with the guy.
Oh, Uriah.
Yeah, Uriah. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
But yeah, so now that Britney done mixed up my flow, I just talk regular, I guess. Y'all want more from me? You can check me out on Twitter at @8 MOZAIK at Nate Mosaic on Twitter. Check out the Kings of Sport podcast. Myself and Marcus Vanderberg. We've been doing that thing since 2013. New episode is up. We 10 episodes away from 300 episodes of the Kings of Sport podcast. We got a Patreon, patreon.com/the Kings of Sport. $5 gets you in the door. If you want to pay more, we're not going to stop you. Not in this economy. I also have the Rocky Maivia Picture Show over on Post Wrestling, which Britney's been on and Clement has been on. Vanessa, me and Vanessa been talking about a future episode of that. So you can check that out on Post Wrestling. Got another show coming out on Post Wrestling. Got the main event over on Place to Be Nation. Got a bunch of stuff that I got going on in this life. Just follow me on Twitter at @8 MOZAIK for all of that. And of course, I'm still be here holding it down with the Lituation Room. You know how we do, cuz these busters out here.
But
yeah, this been great, and it's gonna keep being great. Let's be amazing together, as the prophet Rick Ross would say. What about you, Britney Monae?
Well, you can find me on Twitter and pretty much everything else at Hi Britney Monae. So Hi, and then it's Britney Monae spelled like how you see right there. And my Twitter is not safe for work, just a heads up. I am also on the Nerds of Color podcast. Well, one of their mini podcasts, The Hard Knock Life, which we just talked about all the animation news that came out for Netflix and DC and whatnot. And I just guest on Sisters with Sabers, which is a Star Wars podcast where all the hosts are Black women, and we talked about Star Wars, we talked about cosplay, and kind of have this weird thing with Eminem. Like it's a very wild episode. Which Maria, who hosts the podcast, is actually friends with Nate, and so that's kind of how it happened. So yeah.
I just that's what I do, ladies and gentlemen. I just be putting people together on my little podcast ships. So next, let's see who, like Alex and Ollie, y'all next. We're gonna put y'all on a podcast together. Make that happen.
Yes. What is it called? The podcast? Perry.
I'm like Will Smith in Hitch. I'm just putting podcast people together.
Matchmaker. Yeah. Anyway, love y'all.
Yes.
Thank goodness I work at home. Yeah, well, he's prepared.
That's funny. Well, don't forget to subscribe to this podcast on Apple Podcasts and Stitch Radio and other places where you can find podcasts, because this stream is turning over to the Lituation Room, but it will still be the Black Lightning podcast stream. So if you're already subscribed, don't worry. But if you're not subscribed, subscribe. You can follow the Black Lightning podcast still on Twitter. I think as of right now, we're still keeping the handle at BL_podcast. Mm-hmm. And the email will still be open, so you can still email us at blacklightningpodcast@gmail.com, because we are doing one more episode. So if you have any thoughts you want to share about the podcast, about the show that maybe you didn't get to talk about tonight that you still want to throw in there, please send it our way. You can also visit our website, blacklightningpodcast.com. And then we are part of a large podcast network called DCTV Podcast, where you can find other DCTV related pods. And then there's also a website, dctvpodcast.com. Don't forget the TeePublic score. Well, every time I say score, don't forget the TeePublic store, which is basically teepublic.com / DCTV podcast. Wow. Well, I guess because there is a next time because of the Lituation Room.
We do.
And the next episode, obviously. Until next time, stay lit. We out.
Woo! Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you for joining us tonight. It was fun getting to talk to y'all and interact with you guys. It was very fun. And seeing you guys on camera and me being on camera for once.
Woo!
So, yeah.
We're all cute.
Mr. Jefferson and them is going home.